Welcome to Expand Your Empire, the podcast where women stop deferring wealth and start building financial power. I'm Amanda Taylor, investor, strategist, and disruptor of outdated money rules. It's time to own your worth, grow your assets, and build a legacy that lasts.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Expand Your Empire. Amanda Taylor here. I am your business and wealth strategist, back with you once again. And today I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing over and over in my client conversations. And honestly, it's something that I have lived through myself before I figured all of this out. So it is this weird paradox where your business looks successful from the outside. Your funnel is working, you're closing clients, your revenue is growing. You might even have a team now, but your bank account doesn't reflect any of that momentum. And you're sitting there thinking, where did all my money go? What am I doing wrong? And the answer is probably nothing. You're just optimizing for the wrong metric. And so I want to walk you through what I mean by that, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And more importantly, once you fix it, that is when everything changes. So let me start with the thing that tripped me up for years. I used to think that if I could just hit a certain revenue number, everything would click into place financially. And I hear this all the time. Once I get to 500K, I'll be good. Once I hit 750K, that's when I'll really be building wealth. But what I learned the hard way, and what most of my clients learn, is that revenue is a vanity metric. It is not the number that matters. What matters is what you keep. And most of us, especially women who are high achievers and people pleasers by nature, we are really good at generating revenue, but we are not great at keeping it. Here's what I mean. Let's say you're selling a $5,000 package. It feels amazing when someone says yes, right? But then you deliver and you throw in the extra strategy session because you want them to get results, and you customize everything because you want it to be perfect, and you respond to their text on Sunday night because you want them to feel supported. And by the time you've actually delivered on that package, between your time, your team's time, the tools you're using, the revisions, all of it, you've netted maybe $1,200. You closed the deal, but you didn't build wealth. And when you scale that across 100 clients, you've got 500K in revenue, but you're taking home 120K before taxes and before paying yourself. That's like a $60,000 a year job with no benefits and 60-hour work weeks. That is not what we signed up for. The second thing that I see, and I did this too, it's what I call the good client trap. So you over-deliver because you want to be known for excellence. You want the referrals. You want people to say you're the best that they have ever worked with. So you give them extra, you make exceptions, and you let scope creep happen because you don't want to be the person that says no. But here's what nobody tells you. Excellent without boundaries is just expensive labor. Every bonus session you give away is profit you're not keeping. And every time you let a client expand that scope without a conversation about additional investment, you're subsidizing their business with yours. And I know it feels harsh, but it's true. The clients who respect you most are the ones who respect your boundaries. The ones who don't, they are the ones bleeding your profit dry. And now the third piece is that most of us build these really sophisticated operations. We've got project management systems, CRMs, content calendars, maybe a VA or two. We're operationally tight, but we don't have a system for profit. We don't have a plan for what to do with the cash when we do have a good month. So maybe it sits in checking, or we throw it back into marketing, or we hire someone we don't really need yet because we think that's what scaling looks like. And we stay on the hamster wheel. We're just on a hamster wheel in a higher tax bracket. Okay, nobody teaches you how to pull profit out systematically and put it somewhere that actually builds wealth while you're still working. That's the gap. And that's what I help people close. So, what does it look like to fix this? There are 3 big moves that I walk my clients through, and I'm going to give you them here so you can start thinking about this in your own business. The first one is a margin audit by offer and by client. Not all $5,000 clients cost the same to serve. Some of them are dream clients. They're low maintenance, they're clear on what they want, they do the work, they get results, you're done in the scope you outlined. Those clients might cost you $2,000 to serve. Other clients, high maintenance. You know them. Lots of revisions, that scope creep. They're vague on what they actually want, and you end up doing $4,000 worth of work to close a $5,000 deal. When you know the difference, you can adjust your marketing to attract more of the profitable ones, and you can sunset the offers that look good on paper but are bleeding you dry. You can raise prices on your high touch stuff or add those boundaries that make it profitable again. See, it's not complicated. It's just something most people never do because they're so focused on just closing the next sale. But when I run this with clients, we usually find like 8 to 12% in profit just from shifting the mix. No new marketing, no price increase, just being strategic about who you're serving and how. Now, the second move is delivery boundaries. This is where I see the most resistance, especially from women, because we've been conditioned to think, again, that being helpful means being available, that being excellent means going above and beyond. But that scope creep is killing your profit. So here's what I help clients implement. We've got templates instead of custom everything. We sync up communications instead of being on call. Clear language in your contracts about what is included and what's not. And I know you're thinking, like, won't that hurt my client experience? But no, it improves it. Because when clients know exactly what to expect, they don't feel confused. They don't feel like they have to chase you, and they trust the process. And you get your time back, you get your margin back. And this move alone usually recovers 10 to 15% in profit, again with zero price increase. And the third move is structuring your cash flow for profit first instead of revenue first. Most business owners manage money like this. Revenue comes in, you pay all the expenses, and you hope something is left over. But wealthy business owners do it differently. Revenue comes in, they set profit aside first and then pay expenses from what's left. It sounds simple, but it completely changes your behavior. You set up separate accounts, one for operations, one for profit, one for paying yourself, and one for taxes. And you allocate before you spend. It forces you to get lean, and it shows you where money's being wasted, and it builds reserves. So you're not living month to month, even though you're doing $500,000 in revenue. This is the difference between making money and keeping money. Okay, so let's say you implement these 3 things and you find an extra $70,000 in profit this year. That is not unusual, by the way. That is actually conservative. So what do you do with it? Most people don't know. So it sits, or it gets spent, or goes back into the business even though the business doesn't need it. This is where the wealth building piece comes in. You move from self-funded, which is your business pays your bills, to smart funded, which is your business feeds investments that pay you whether you're working or not. So this looks like private credit maybe, where you're lending to other businesses for 8 to 12% returns with monthly distributions. Maybe real estate syndications where you get equity and cash flow without being a landlord. We've talked about the whole life insurance structured for cash value, which grows tax-free and stays liquid. Or buying other businesses so you're collecting cash flow instead of just building it. The goal is simple. Every 100K in profit should create $8,000 to $12,000 a year in income you don't have to work for. So within 18 to 24 months, we want to do that so your business isn't just funding your lifestyle. It's feeding a wealth engine that compounds while you're still running your company. And that is the shift from operator to investor. That is when you stop trading time for money and start building real net worth. So let's talk about what that looks like in real numbers, because I think it makes it more concrete. Right now, let's again say you're doing 500K in revenue. You're keeping 24%, which is 120K in profit. After taxes, you take home 80K. You put 40K in savings where inflation is eating it alive. After we fix profit and deploy the cash, you're still doing the same 500K, same top line, but now you're keeping 38% because we've fixed those profit leaks. That's 190K that you take home 110, you invest 80 into things averaging 10% a year. That creates 8,000 additional income that compounds. Year one, you've got 30K more in your pocket plus 8,000 you didn't have to work for. By year three, you're looking at 90K more in your pocket, 28,000 in compounding income, and you didn't double your ad spend. You didn't launch a new offer, you didn't hire a sales team, and you didn't work more hours. You just kept more of what you already earned and you put it to work. That is the game. So if any of this is landing for you, if you're sitting here thinking, oh my God, that's me, I'm doing all of these things and my bank account doesn't show it, I want to talk to you. I run a profit discovery audit where we map out what you're actually keeping. We identify your top 3 profit leaks and we build out a plan to pull out and invest 50 to 150K you didn't know you had. There's no fluff, no theory, just detailed profit work and strategy to move from operator to investor. You can book at the link in the show notes, and if you're not ready for that, that's totally fine. But just start looking at your offers through the lens of profit and not revenue, and start asking yourself, what does this actually cost me to deliver? That alone will change how you run your business. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for being here. I will see you guys next week, and until next time, keep building.
If this lit something up, share it, review it, and get in the room. Join the Expand Your Empire community and start turning wisdom into wealth. You're not too late, and you're not doing this alone.